Questions with Answers. This is the space where no questions are too big or too small. The space where we encourage you to embrace your ego, find all of your life purposes, and encourage you to follow your vivid visions so you can live a life in passion, peace, and performance. My name is Birgitta QwA. I'm going live from a beautiful New Zealand in lockdown. As a LifeSpider coach and possibility explorer, I'm honored and excited to be here as the connection between your questions and Birgitta's wisdom. We've already got some really interesting questions, so thank you very much for that. Remember to ask more questions in the comments if something comes up for you. And be sure that someone will also benefit from the answer to your question. So with me, I have the one and only Birgitta Granström calling in from California. Birgitta is the founder of LifeSpider System and the leader of the international LifeSpider movement. We usually speak Swedish, and since we're both from Sweden, but I'm sure we will be fine. So Birgitta, you've named this a window of possibilities. Would you like to talk a bit about that?
Yes, and now when you said that again, I got goosebumps. And I call it windows of possibilities because we are in a time of change. And right now we are in kind of a vacuum. We don't really know what's going to happen. We are trying to survive or kind of cope with the situation. So I think the best thing we can do with this time we have now is to prepare for the coming future. So it's to raise our vision and see, okay, so when I look back and when we look back on this situation in the lockdown and everything that's going on in the world, we can be proud of ourselves that we did the best with this time. And that's why we are open up for those in this quest with questions and answers to help as many people as we can to do the best of this. So I think if we are focusing on possibilities, there actually is a window now for every one of us to just be still and really consider and think and ponder about what are we going to do and how will the future look like for each one of us and the society at large, because I'm sure nothing will be the same as it was before on many different levels. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm very, very curious about what kind of questions people have out there. So yeah, I'm ready to start, and we will see what will happen, and let's have some fun as well. So that's
great. I'm excited. We have a great mix of questions today. So yeah, let's just dig right into it. So how do I know what is the right thing to do? If this is the right job, friend, place to live, spouse, etc. to have?
Wow, that was a great, interesting question. So how do I know what's the right thing to do?
Yes.
Okay, so in this answer, there are different levels. And to make the big answer, to start with, it's like what you feel is right is right. And that's the big answer. And that's not that easy to, yeah. So how do I feel? So I could say it's like to know what's right, the right thing to do. It's kind of develop your intuition skill, to listen to your intuition and see, because your feelings about what's right, it's never wrong. It's always right. So that this is an exercise both in the at the moment, but also in the long run. And it's like if you think about when you are hungry, your body tells you have to eat. I mean, how do you? It's kind of, how do you know when to eat? You know it because your body is telling you are hungry. So that's kind of the signal that tells your brain, okay, it's time for you to go and eat. And then you eat. You don't do anything else because that's the right thing to do. So what you are going to develop is to find those signals in your body, in your emotions, because when something is right, and you are just doing it. So when you find yourself kind of writing lists of pros and cons and asking friends and thinking and overthinking, should I do this, should I do that, is that job, is that partner, those choices, you can just stop and think, okay, something is not right here. Because if you look back on any situation in your history, when you had something that you didn't think, you just took action, and you knew it was right. So this is it's a skill you have to train. So how can you start to listen to your intuition? Because when something feels right, it is right. And what's happening, this is also kind of we thought you have a window when the feeling hits you, okay, I want to do this, but then something is happening and you connect your brain to your feelings that start to argue with your feelings and try to find the right answer built upon laws, rules, regulations, what other people think, what could be the best, what uh, what would my mother say about this and everything. And when you miss this window to act on your real intuition, your feeling, you kind of have to work your way back and not start to keep on writing those lists. So to start to listen to your intuition is, at first you need to know you actually have an intuition, because I would say the intuition is all the information you have gathering. So your intuition has so much more information to process than your brain has. So you have to find for example, you can start with saying, how do you feel? How do you feel in certain situations? For example, you can start to recognize when you are hungry, what kind of feeling is that? Where in the body can you feel that feelings? And you can see you don't feel hungry in your right arm, for example, because you have the hunger feeling somewhere in the belly, and because that's something you learned since early age. And this is the same. It's the same kind of process. And I'm not sure we can handle the whole question right now, but you can start to play with your intuition and not be so serious. You can, for example, pick an object just to try yourself and your intuition and pick an object and ask the object, okay, what do you want to tell me? And the first thought that comes to your mind, stick to it. So it's more to start to recognize what's your first feelings and what kind of thoughts is coming after. So you have to go to the place where the feeling is showing up. So that's the goal. Because all other tricks, mostly you are on the wrong track. So go back to if you can remember when you for the first time started to think about, oh, should I have this job or that job? In what kind of situation were you at that time? What was happening right then? So start to go back and see what triggered the questions. Because when you have the question, should I do that and that? For sure, there is something you have to change. And be comfortable in that feeling, okay, something is about to change, but you don't know why. And also this trick, now we are working with question and answer. Don't always try to find an immediate answer. Just ask the question, let the questions just floating around in your body for a while. I don't know, is that the answer to the question, Frida?
Yeah, great. And we have a following comment on that from Camilla here. So I get that when something feels right, it is right. But when something feels wrong, it's not as easy, I think, because sometimes maybe it's just uncomfortable or you're worried about the consequence, etc. And it doesn't mean it's the wrong thing direction to go to.
No, that's right. And I also think just because something feels right. Okay, for example, I need to uh, uh, switch job. I need to get a new partner. I mean, okay, this is going to happen. So what you can do is, okay, trust your feelings. This is, I need a new job. I need a new partner. I need to move to a new home. And that's right. And then when you have this feeling, in what direction you are heading, you can connect with your brain and say, okay, what's the smartest strategy I can do to make it most comfortable for me? And this is kind of just for the spider strategy, though we are talking about the LifeSpider system. You can look at the real LifeSpider, and this could be a really, really good strategy. And if a spider out in the wild, the animal, before a spider moved to a new web, a new cob, it's still hanging on a, what you call this little silver thread, and it never jumps until the new web is built and ready for you to jump. So just because that you have to jump, you are not supposed to just jump right out in nowhere. You can be smart and build a strategy. But the feeling when okay, I'm going to quit job, I'm going to get a divorce, I'm going to get to a new home. With that feeling, you are comfortable. You know where you are going. So then if the time is take 1 week, 1 year, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I think that's you don't have to jump immediately, even if you are in a situation. The direction is more important to be feel safe about.
So, because sometimes it can be, when you're not used to listen to the feelings,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be hard to know if it doesn't feel right just because it's uncomfortable, or because you're going out of your comfort zone, or if it is because it's not right.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's a very, very good point, Frida.
So how do you
So
know when it's just uncomfortable, and when it's just doesn't feel right because it's not right?
actually, I
Is
would
there a
say
difference?
I would say when something is really right, you don't feel uncomfortable. When you are uncomfortable, there is certain things you maybe are not ready for doing right now. You need more preparation. You need more learning. You need more experience for something. Because when something is right, it's never uncomfortable. And even if it's uncomfortable, and you are going to jump out of your safety zone, you will jump. You don't care. You are ready to take the risk, because what's right doesn't care. You can be scared. You don't care about what other people think, or it could be creepy, but you are going to jump. So that's the right feeling is never uncomfortable, and it can be scary and creepy, but then it's just a signal of to prepare for something. You need to be more prepared. You need to prepare yourself, I would say. I'm thinking, yeah. What do you say, Frida?
Yeah, and also sometimes it's about reframing the feelings. Like, going on stage can be very scary, but you can also reframe it to that it's exciting. Like,
Yes, good
because
point.
sometimes you framed the feeling wrong. Because
Yes,
so
yeah,
used to putting, yeah. Otherwise,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, and that's good, because every single word you say, when you can reframe it, because words are kind of connected to a judgment, what's right and what's wrong. And then when the brain is always trying to do right, and so this is an exercise for your brain. Your brain needs to reframe the world. Your feelings doesn't.
yeah,
I would say so. Yeah,
yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
good.
Great. Let's take the next one. So I've been
So
working.
it's
Yeah,
a good question.
Yeah, great question. Thank you very much. So I've been working as therapist in healthcare for 30 years, and I'm depleted. Too scared to move forward to be free. Think I'm too lazy and too bad at organizing to move forward. What to do?
Oh, I mean, I think here it's lots of people who recognize themselves. It's kind of, you get kind of stuck in a situation and you don't know you are stuck because everything is just wake up in the morning and you do your things and you never stop and start think about how do I really like the situation. So this is about reflections, and that's why we're always talking about you need to put out some time every day to reflect. Am I satisfied about what I'm doing? And if you don't, you wake up kind of 30 years later and wonder, okay, shit, what's happening? And that's most of the time it's happening when you start to get older. You have been in a certain area for a really, really long time, and then your whole system start to make their own life reflections. And to avoid to get to that position from in the first place is to start to make reflection, just maybe 30 seconds every night, and see, okay, am I satisfied with what I have done today? Am I excited to wake up in the morning tomorrow and do what I'm doing? And if you're not, start to uh, make more reflections, say, okay, what am I supposed to do? So what are you going to do when, okay, you wake up and it's 30 years has passed, and the first question you would ask, okay, do you want another 30 years pass and you will wake up with the same feeling again? And I guess most people, no, you don't. So then you start to, this is if I can connect to the question before, this is kind of trust this feeling. When you feel is, okay, something is wrong here. And I would say the first step is to say, okay, something is wrong. I'm supposed to do something else. I have another mission. So admit for yourself that, okay, I'm going to quit what I'm doing now. And I know there is something else that's waiting for me. And just by opening up for this, and this is kind of, now I got goosebumps again. It's kind of a window of possibilities. Be happy. Oh, I'm so glad I woke up now and not 10 years in the future and have the same questions, because now there is an opportunity for you to start to reflect about it. And don't think that you today need the exact answer where to go. Because if you start and take the first step and say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, there is something else out there for me. And when you do, you will see some message, information, feelings start to get to you. And then you get to the next step and say, okay, this starts to get exciting. I wonder what it is. And then you have the courage, the strength, and the energy. Because as you say, you get depleted of everything, and the energy is low, and you maybe even feel like you have almost depressed about what you are doing. And the first thing you have to do before you make a decision is you have to add yourself with more energy, so you have the capacity to make new decisions. So try to make a decision and find, okay, am I going to switch job, create a new career or something in a mood or where you have a low energy? Never do that. So try to add some more energy, and just the thoughts about that there is something else will supply you with that energy. What's that? Is it is it an answer, Frida?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so if I hear you right, just raise your energy, listen to the feeling, acknowledge the feeling that you feel that it's wrong, and celebrate that it's coming up right now, and take the window of possibilities.
Yeah, and I would add, and don't accuse yourself for being lazy, or what else was it in the question? Lazy or
Yeah,
unorganized or
yeah.
lack of something, because that's not the case. So quit everything that you blame yourself for something, because it doesn't help for anything. Do something that make you feel good instead, and then so that's really important, because you are not lazy and not unorganized, because when you know where to go, you have all the energy and you will take action, a massive action.
Yeah. Great.
I'm just excited about the question.
Next question. So my question is about how to have the greatest impact in sharing what I've learned in my life about how life works, how to create emotional mastery, and how to end manipulation, parent consciously, and many other things. From Eileen.
Wait,
So the
can
question,
you repeat that again?
So the question is how to have the greatest impact in sharing what I've learned in my life.
So how can you have the greatest impact
Mm.
on? I think I'm missing something you were saying now.
So if I reframe it a bit, then so she learned a lot about how life works, how to create emotional mastery and manipulation, and
Okay.
many other things. So
Ah.
how does she have the greatest impact in sharing what she learned?
Oh, now I got it. Sometimes it takes some
Yeah.
time for it. Let
Yeah.
it. I mean, if at first I have the greatest impact, and if you have something to share, and you know you have experience, and you have some kind of a concept or something that people can't find anywhere else, I think what many people do who wants to create impact on others, they are starting to go into too many details. Okay, should I write a book? Should I do a campaign? I need to find a marketer. I need to do this and this and that, and because that's what famous and successful people have done with to be known for their get their knowledge for their products. And I would say the first thing is, and it's a little bit connected to, if you start to, and I call it Buddha has been one of my mentors through life. And one story that hit me really hard was that when he had, because he knew when he had his download and enlightenment and this, in his mind, he said, if I only can find one person who understands my download and can move that forward, I'm satisfied. And that was exactly what he did. He found one person who really grabs his whole message, and they started to walk around and spread the message. And it took over, I think it was 300 years or something before anyone wrote the Buddhist philosophy down in books or what kind of material they had. So it took them 300 years. So I think connect to that you are convinced that, okay, what I have to share is so important. And I will also say there is two different approach. And this is easy for us in the LifeSpider system, because there is one, what I'm talking about now, that's what's connecting to your intentions. What is it that your soul wants to do? And the soul just wants to spread the message. And for the soul, it's easy. Okay, I will just find one person who know the message. And then, because the timeline in universe, it's not like here. It's not a linear time, so everything is happening. So that will be good. But so if you could first connect with the soul and say, okay, this message need to be spread for the world, you can find other ways that will be easier. But then we have the part of our ego who wants maybe the acknowledgement, who want to be famous, who wants to make money, who wants to have all this other stuff. And that's absolutely okay. But then you could see, okay, could I do, if I found this person who maybe want to spread the message, could I do other stuff so my ego get this acknowledgement? And then you can start to, maybe you should write a book, you should start to run seminars, you should have some people who is listening to you, and start to talk and spread your message maybe in smaller groups and go from there. But you have to separate it because it's two different approaches, and you should have both. And most of the time, if you have the strong feeling of the importance of your message, the ego will find a way to connect to that. Okay, we are finding this person. Okay, let's go out and talk. Let's do a workshop and do all this practical stuff. So I hope that will help a little. So yeah.
So find one person and wait 300 years. No. No.
Maybe don't. Yeah, you can tell the soul that, but please don't tell the ego, because the ego will be so crazy. But it's really fun. The ego really needs to get the acknowledgement to be famous, but even there, you don't have to go the big way or the way everybody else do. So you need to have the feedback, and start to ask your friends, because what's happening when you can relax, because this kind of questions is lock you down in a scarcity you get nervous, you get stressed out because, I don't have time, I need to do this and this and this, and then really kill the creativity. So by doing this, maybe just for 24 hours, 48 hours, okay, I find one person, be satisfied with that. Okay, I will have a group with 3 people next week to talk about this and maybe get some help. Then you start to relax. And then the creativity is opening up and new ideas will come. So this is also when sometimes it helps, relax, do meditation, walk in the nature, whatever. But at first you need to have the decisions, the directions in place. And then the creativity will just be insane. So get out of this, I need to do it now, because then you do nothing.
And I feel we're also back to the first question, like you listen to your feelings, what feels right for you, and not listen to what everyone else say you should do.
Exactly. So what do you want to do? And it's so easy today to get into all those marketing strategies and the 6-figure stuff, and quit listening to that and listen to yourself. Stop listening to every single video about all the tips and tricks and doings to get your book out there or whatever, and start to listen to yourself. Because if you have found a concept that's so important that you know it will create an impact on people's life, you have the capacity and the ability to find answers how to get it out there. So stop listening to others and start listening to yourself.
Great. Perfect. I think we're ready for the next question. So within the astrology, it said that our star signs can help us understand who we are. How much do you think that we can read from our star signs?
I think you can read in from everything, because everything that's out there is information. And I think the astrology, it has information, and you can bring in that information. You can bring information from all kind of theories and old knowledge and apply it to yourself. But that's the same. It's kind of, you are gathering all the information, and then you make your own cooking and see, okay, how is this benefits me? And if you love astrology, it's interesting, you find it exciting, and you feel good about it, and it really helps you to move forward, stick to it. Because it can never be wrong. But if you think about that there is one thing that's right, you are wrong. Because it's kind of, there is, see, everything that's out there is just information that have been packed in certain packages, and nothing can be wrong. The only thing is wrong if you try to apply information that's not right for you. So I think if you find interesting stuff and the information you brings in from the astrology, I mean, with your experience and everything you have, you will create new information. So I think it's just wonderful, but it's not for astrology. It's for all single method out there, because everything is one and it goes together. And if you dig deep, everything is the same. So I would say all method is just different ways of help the evolution to become better. And that's for LifeSpider system as well. I mean, it's also a gathering of lots of information that's already there. And that's why I call the LifeSpider system, it's a discovery. It's not, this is how it should be. It's a discovery, and that fits the evolution right now.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I love how you say that we can find information in everything. I love one of the exercises that really got my eyes open to that from the self-coaching program, where you just look at the first thing that you see and ask, what information can I get from that? And then you listen to that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that was kind of that what I mean. Pick an object and ask what you see. What do you see to right? You can do it right now. I mean, look to your left, see what kind of object do you find there, and then you ask the object, okay, why did I see you? What do you want to tell me right now? And see what's happening, because you will get some information. So good you brought that up.
Yeah. Cool. So next question. Do we come to Earth several times, and do we live different lives in a body? In that case, do you think we will continue to do that when we reach sorry, I'm trying to translate it at the same time. Conscious that we can fulfill our life's mission?
Now I have to start to speculate, because no one really knows how is. What I can see is, I mean, everything is just energy, and energy is never disappears. So it comes back in different way. And I have no clue exactly how it works. And no one can say how it is. Metaphorically, I would say you... I could say, yes, you may come back, or I would put it like this. Disconnect yourself from the mission, because you in the human body right now is kind of unimportant. What's important is what's the evolution, or maybe for now, I think we are talking about this planet, what this planet needs. And that's what's important. And if there is an energy who wants to fix, or you call it soul or a second life or whatever, it will come back and fix it on the planet. But don't connect it to the person or your I, because I doubt that. I think the soul and the spirit is a free creature of energy that goes where it will have the most impact and the easiest. So, and I would say this is just a metaphor, and I don't know how it works. But if you who asked this question, if it helps you to find an answer, I guess you probably already have an answer, and you ask the question because you want to be confirmed on your thoughts. And I would say, don't try to be confirmed. Listen to what's speaking to you, and then go for it. Because it could be like you have reached some information that no one else on the planet have right now. So maybe that's your mission, to see, okay, how can you dig deeper, and how can you mediate the knowledge that's coming to you? So, and by asking the question right now, I think that's great because you open up and you put the question on the table, and that's kind of a confirmation for you that you have the strength and curiosity and the ambition to do more with the potential answer. So it's I love the question. I mean, and to think about this and how, I mean, it can occupy me for weeks, hours, years. So it's I love the question. It's a challenging one.
Wonderful.
And we are all curious. What if we could have the what you say, the right answer in front of us? Someone has come and told us, oh, this is how the whole universe works. That would be fantastic. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. So the next question is about Indigo. I have done the test, and for you who listen who's not familiar, we have an Indigo test on the LifeSpider Academy page. So I've done the test and end up in the middle. I don't know if I am Indigo or not. What can I do with this information?
Okay, then at first I would say Indigo is kind of a concept that define people who right now maybe define themselves as a weird one, have got some kind of a label, who act differently, thinks outside the box, have another view of the humanity and the universe. I would say it has an they are born with a higher consciousness from the beginning. And I will not go deep into the question because you can read about it on our webpage and you can do the test. But this is just a brief. So it's a concept, and you put the concept where, for me, I could put almost every single person who got some kind of a label would be better off by calling themselves an Indigo, because you don't even need the label Indigo. It's just to admit or get the knowledge that you are different and you should act from being different. And then I think this question you get in the middle. There is, I mean, those pure Indigo, that's absolutely the most crazy ones. And then you have those in the middle who are less crazy ones. And then you have those who is trying, going from being normal to being crazy. And those people in the middle, I call them bridge builder. And those are people who really understand the world, how it looks like right now, understands people in the box, in the 3D world, who live this what we right now call normal. And the bridge builder also have one leg in the Indigo world. So they understand, oh, I got goosebumps. They understand both worlds. So it helps the Indigo people to stick to their own mission, be themselves, don't try to fit into the society, be happy there. And the other people who is in the normal, don't try to be something that you are not ready for to be. And the bridge builder is those who can communicate between the those two worlds. So we get less conflicts. And I would say, in a time we are living in right now, the bridge builder people are really, really important, because it would help from the bridge builder. We can do the transition from the normal to a new normal easier without less conflicts. So I think that's to have a knowledge, the bridge builder, for being really, really important right now. So if you got into the middle, stick to the middle and do your job. Go on. And don't try to do something else, because sometimes there is certain labels like Indigos, and then you have people say, oh, it looks cool. I mean, it's a cool definition, and they are creative, and they have lots of things going on. But trying to be something you are not, it's not helping anyone, and it makes yourself miserable. So if you are not an Indigo and try and want to be an Indigo, at time you can increase your skills as a bridge builder and get closer into this the new world that's going on. But don't do it on your own pace. Nothing is better or more good or bad and the other one. It's just you have to accept, I'm here, this is my mission, and I will do it the best I can. Then we all will be happy, and we can respect each other, and we can enjoy each other. But is this like we are doing in the normal right now? We are trying to fit in people into certain boxes. And that's why we are trying to label people as, oh, you have the ADD, you are bipolar, you are this, just so you can tell you are not fitting in the box, but you are supposed to stay in the box. So let us give you some pills so you behave differently, so you can stay in the box. And no one is happy. Everyone, it just creates conflicts and trauma for everyone involved. So it's better to say, okay, you are like this and this personality. How can we best use your unique characteristics, no matter what you are? Because there is a place for everyone.
Yeah.
That would be that was a long answer, but it's I kind of my favorite topic. The weird ones are my favorites in any form.
Yeah, great question, great answer. And as a fellow bridge builder, I can totally, when you acknowledge and embrace it, it's a great place to be. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now I can see, and for Frida is a really, really good example of a bridge builder, and she's doing it every day. I mean, in LifeSpider Sister, she's communicating with weird people to the normal and create a language so everyone understands and get to something. So we are really doing a great job as a bridge builder, Frida. So we are happy to have you. All of us.
Happy to be
all
here.
of us.
Great, thank you. So yeah, that was actually the questions we had for today. If something comes up for you, just write it in the comments. And we have some comments from Camilla and Margareta. Thank you very much. They are Margareta writes, what interesting, what's that in English? Reasoning. Is that it?
Discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. So great. Thank you very much for today. And we will do another one next week.
Yes.
Is that right? Yes, we'll be here again next week. Yeah. And looking forward to see you then. And as you know, you can ask the questions beforehand. So I have them and can connect them to Birgitta's answers and see what comes up. It's always interesting to have. And thank you for all the interesting questions. Both high and low. Would you like to say some finishing words, Birgitta?
Yeah, I had something in my mind of this possibility, and now I would say keep on asking questions and don't try to find an answer, because it's kind of the answer will find you. And I could say, I mean, I've been asking questions my whole life. Since I remember I could think, I've just been asking questions and why. And that's why I feel right now in this very moment, because I've been weird and crazy in my way of living and thinking. And so at this moment, I feel like I have no questions left at the moment. I don't say it's forever, but I have so many answers that I've been collecting on the way that actually are looking for the right questions. And so that's why I think that's the reason why we are here. It's because there is a load of answers that you could get to your question, so you can start to think about new questions, because the answer is in the question. If you find a question, there is an answer, and some of the answers is already there. They are here. And then you can start to find new questions, and we will find more answers. So this is a way to collaborate about moving forward faster. And so that's why I'm exciting. And now we were just starting off those quests with answers, and we will keep on going until people learn and see the magnificent results and endorphin experience you get when the answers is just showing up, because all answers to all our problem they are here. They are just waiting for to be collected and manifested in our world and in our lives. So that was my
Right.
final, and there is just possibilities.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, listen in to yourself. If we conclude what comes up today, listen into yourself. What is right, and ask more questions. Great. Thank you very much for that, Birgitta. And I'm looking
Wonderful.
forward to more questions. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, we
Bye
do.
for
Okay.
now.
Bye bye.